What is up, everyone? Another day, another video. This time we're tackling the Sunday pool. 3-bet here with ace-5 suited. I have no equity, I'm just gonna check. Anyways, yeah, the last video I thought was pretty good, but it was kind of tilting that I didn't turn off my fish tank in the background. So there's that like little pissing noise. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, so today we're gonna be tackling the Sunday pool. We're gonna see how it plays and everything. And this time I did turn off the fish tank, so hopefully the audio is much better. Um, I'm so I just been getting like a few comments saying that like, oh, I should be playing higher stakes, like it seems like the pool's like very soft, but like that's kind of true. In a sense that I should be playing higher stakes, which I do on other sites. I'm just more private about that stuff. I play up to 100 NL on like private apps and just 25 to 50 NL on other sites. And in all honesty, I can't really beat stars 25 NL. I'm kind of break even after a lot of hands, like 100k hands or so. I'm actually break even. The only reason I'm up is because of the rake back that I get, which is the exclusive poker challenge and stuff. So yeah, so I'm only really making these videos just because I like making content. And I know when I started out playing poker, there wasn't many regular play and explains on microstakes, which is why I wanted to get into that space a little bit. But yeah, so that's just a little stuff to talk about. And plus, like, if you haven't noticed, I've been just running really hot in 10 and now. Like, I know my small sample graph has like a 13 big blind win rate, but in reality, that's not really sustainable. It's only a matter of time until I start running bad. Gonna mix in some 3-bets with ace-9 suited, but rolling really low, so not this time. And want to be very cautious when we're 3-betting against the under the gun. Pocket fours, I'm not playing any calls in the small blind, but for a min raise, I think we can complete. If it was anything bigger, I would have folded. Pretty good decision. Now on the queen, we're just gonna bet pretty big here. We unblock all the queen X, so it makes sense to bet with our pocket fours. Another line could be check raising, but I'm just gonna take the more aggressive route. And it's pretty nice river. He's gonna check back everything that with showdown value, so I'm just gonna go for a bet. I don't think he bluffs that river enough. Sometimes he'll be calling with like ace jack or like some type of ace x, and he'll just check back with his showdown value. And flopping top set here, we actually lock up the board, so this would make a good hand to check back. And just showing down the tens, to be honest. You can go for like a third bet here, or like a min bet actually, if you don't want to be taking the check back route. Not much sense raising the turn. And we lose to ace-8 suited. That's like the worst river in the deck. Everything gets there. If he's bluffing with a flush draw 5x, it just got there. But the way he checks back, I don't think he has much. I just don't know how often we're gonna get called by worse here. I'm not entirely sure if we can even go for value, but with this set, I'm just gonna bet and pray that we hit something. Interesting, this guy snap calls. Not sure how much we want to read into that, but on a wet-ish board, I'm just gonna go for like a half pot bet here. The flush gets there, I'm just gonna check. Don't think we're ever folding though. And once again, we get a really poor run out. We could have bet the flop actually on board 3. I think I was just too focused on the king's hand. And he has tens. Pretty standard, to be honest. Okay, hopefully we'll have a hand that doesn't get cracked. Okay, so against these big bets, we kind of want to play a lot more tighter. With aces, it's kind of easy, to be honest. We want to be 3-betting more since our price is pretty bad. I ISO here, and it does get through. And hits his range pretty hard. He can still have a lot of good hands here, especially since he's calling out of the big blind. With the aces, I'm just jamming here. There's no point in slow playing. He's never folding when he makes it like that size. And it's actually weird on board 3. Huh. And we do get sucked out with the 10s, so we can actually go for value with the ace king, but yeah, we have to. It's going to be really thin. We're hoping he has like king 10, which we block. So I'm just going to take it to showdown. He does have king 10. We do get sucked out on board 3, so we got our kings cracked by 10s. Now we get our aces cracked by 10s. And that's what it means. It's only a matter of time until we start running bad, right? And it's not really big of a deal. We do have a very small sample anyways. I've got to be very cautious on board 3. I know it's very passive right now that I'm checking a lot, but with a reg here, I just think it makes more sense to check. But this would be an ideal hand to bet, you know. We have some backdoors. We have a pair. So just going to call against this 1/3 bet. And now we're pretty much have to decide whether we want to value bet our hand or not. And the way that small blind calls, I'm imagining his range has a lot of diamond hands. That's the main reason he called. I think that he'd try to lead his like 9x on the turn. It's a bit close on board 1, but I'm just going to fold. It's a pretty big bet. I don't think we can value bet since small blind did call. And it does seem like he does have a strong strong diamond as expected. Which is the main reason I don't think we can value bet that river. Even small blind betting, the big blind betting into us is a bit wary. 9-8 off is very close. Gonna go for a big bet on the turn with the 9-8. We have a lot more 3x than him, so I'm just gonna be very aggressive on this run out. The ace, I don't know how often we can value bet on a diamond river. Man, I'm playing really nitty today. But it seems like we're making right decisions. That was a good thing to get the bluff through. We just have a lot more 3x than him. And when everything completes on the river, it's like people are more inclined to bet their flush draws on the flop. So I'm not really worried, to be honest. Gonna call a min 3 bet on board 2. He's gonna half pot bet this, and I imagine like min bets usually means strength in these pools for some reason. Either way, I don't think we can fold much yet. He does have some ace queen off, some ace queen suited, ace 10 suited, ace jack, those kind of hands. And I'm just gonna try and get to showdown. We do river a set though, and I'm just gonna be betting here. His range is actually relatively weak, so I'm just gonna use a small sizing. I'm gonna be calling with the queen jack suited. We have 2 overcards and a backdoor flush. And when he's checking back this turn, I don't think he'd ever check anything like jacks or like any overpair is what I'm saying. So he's more likely to have something like ace king. So I'm just going to be betting big here. Going to be calling the king 10 suited. And he had pocket nines. Interesting. Not sure how noteworthy that is. And he can have some traps like this, but that's fine. Same scenario here. We have 2 overs and a backdoor flush. Pretty bad turn. And on that turn, I don't think we can get many folds from queens, jacks. It's kind of weird how do you check back an ace. I think that he has something like queens and jacks, which we need to get him to fold. And he does check back the ace queens, so I guess that was a interesting play. Pretty nice range advantage for us, so I'm just going to be betting. Going to be calling with the jack, and he has the straight on the river. On the turn, I'm going to go for an overbet on this blank. A bit close with a 10-9 off. Calls, and it's not ideal having a jack here. We want him to have all these kind of draws. So with the jack of clubs blocking a lot of his flush draws, I think it just makes sense to give up. He does have ace 10. Interesting call on the turn. Just that jack of clubs works against us a lot. It'd be better to bluff with something like king spades, jack of hearts. So far, it's not doing so well. I think we're down like 2 buy-ins or something. Almost 2 buy-ins, but a lot of it is because of that aces versus 10s hand. So I don't mind too much, to be honest. 3-betting on board 1, and I think on this flop with the backdoor flush, we can bet sometimes, especially since the range is pretty wide, blind versus blind. And now I'm basically just stacking off here as a bluff if I don't make it. Interesting lead, we're folding. Hey, yeah, good luck us. Hopefully he doesn't have a set. Hopefully he has some type of like 10, 9, 10 hand or something. Good luck. And he has ace king. And just rivers a king. Interesting, we're down 3 buy-ins. It's a rip. As soon as I say that, it's not really sustainable. We're just getting wrecked now. Pretty much gonna call this guy a nit. It's just weird. This is noteworthy for sure. Sorry for the typing. Gonna be calling the ace jack, gonna be calling the 9-8. Gonna be checking. Interesting pot size bet. We're not calling. But the board is relatively dry, so I'm not sure why you're betting really big. We're getting screwed by like ace queen, but we kind of can't fold blind versus blind. If he value bets this river, we can overfold against the pool. But it just shows that people are not really like... I'm guessing he would be bluffing that king-queen combo, but he just rivers some showdown value, so... This hand is really tilting though. Just the speed that he's calling like the flop and then he's just button clicking the turn. It's kind of annoying. Going for a small bet here against the short stack and never folding. And we're going to be betting small with our 5s. Good luck. And just has ace 4 off. Looks like we're making it back little by little. We've only played less than 200 hands, so I think I'm going to keep going for a bit. Especially since I want to complete this chest. Okay, we have a limper short stack. Probably should have bluffed this river, to be honest. But I don't know if we can get him off ace high. I was so autopilot here. Anyway, we're just going to call 2 overs and gut shot. And I think mandatory bluff with f6 high. In a limp pot, we can have 3s here full frequency. I swear if he calls me with the ace high, I'm going to lose it. Okay. Rip the red line. Need to stop autopiling a bit and focus a bit more. Gonna be calling. Okay, we got a limper. We're of course gonna ISO. Queen 4 suited is kind of like whatever here. I think with the weaker player, we can just call. And just gonna go for my standard half pot, little over half pot on this board. We can get value from things like Jack 10. And deny equity from flush draws. So I think I'm gonna go for this bigger sizing. Snap calls. 10 is really good for us in the sense that we have ace king. And he never has ace king. And with that in mind, I think we just value bet this turn very heavily. Gonna call a min raise here, even though it's not ideal. Just folding the king 9 off, folding deuces here, and folding jack 9. Let's see how this plays out. This guy's extremely short. He has less than pot behind. You can just jam. And imagine this button has a flush draw and folds. 6-8, calls with 6, has a flush. Standard. Flopping a 10 in a limp pot. Checks all around, ace on the turn. Can we really call this turn? I actually think we can fold. This doesn't make sense to be betting into 2 people. Let's see how it plays out. We see a check. And a small bet. This guy definitely has an ace. Gonna be betting this board sometimes, gonna be checking sometimes. Mixing a bit. Can get check raised. Definitely has some sets, definitely have some queen jack. Gonna float once here. And overall this ace 3 king board is mostly a high frequency bet. Betting very small now. Not sure what to read into this, but with our equity, I just think we have to call. Possibly bluff some rivers if he bets small again. He definitely has something like pocket tens at this point. Min raise on a turn, kind of got to fold. Not the best video, to be honest, getting wrecked. Showing my true colors. The video is getting kind of long. I'll just make a part 2 of this. Get counterfeit on board 2. I don't think we can get bluffs through 2 people, so we're just going to check fold. This guy definitely has a queen. We'll 3-bet. And we'll small bet on board 1. And against a 3x 4-bet, we're just going to be jamming here. And there's literally like nothing we can get value from on board 1. We just got to hope he bluffs with the 8s or something. Like his counterfeit pairs. We're just going to jam here. Probably has kings. Or something really strong. And since the range is really weak on board 1, I'm just going to be betting tiny. Hopefully we get called by something. And we're just going to be betting the turn. Yeah, he had pocket 8s. He called for a chop. And on board 2, I think we can get value from ace-jack specifically. Or ace-8 suited, something like that. Let's pray we don't get raised. This is very thin on the river. But I think he does have a lot of this ace-jack, ace-8, ace-9 suited that we can get value from. And when he bets this big, we can just fold comfortably. At least we stack that ace-king hand. And we're up a little bit more. The way that this hand played out, I'd imagine he has something like pocket 3s sometimes. Even like 2 pairs, ace-5 suited, ace-3 suited, hands like that. But it's just a very underbluff spot. There's nothing that we beat. Might be 3-betting here on board 2, not this time. Gonna be calling this raise. It's a very bad turn card. Everything just gets there. I don't think he'd be barreling off any flush draws. So in a sense, like we can basically comfortably fold this turn with our flush draw. Let me just debate for a little bit. Went a little big with the cold 3-bet. Just thinking a lot about this hand on board 3. The sizing he took. We block a lot of Jack X, but yeah, I think we can peel one more time. Hopefully he gives up with like 6-7 of spades. Oh, he had to not flush draw. That is depressing. It's kind of why I wanted to check back on the, just fold the turn. Slowly losing the buy-in back that we just gained. Yeah, so like I said, the video is getting a bit longer once we're done this king-jack hand. I think I'm going to stop the video and just make a part 2. Against a pot-sized bet, I think we're just calling. And we're calling the 3-bet. Interesting. Queen 10 gets there, so I don't think we can raise much. I think we just gotta let him keep bluffing. And it's like, this is the best board possible for us on board 1. Can we raise sometimes? I think we can. But I think the way people will play their overpairs is just jamming a lot. So we're just gonna peel. And he's gonna muck. Hit aces, interesting. Probably definitely miss value here if we just raise the turn. Okay, we're going to be calling the Jack 10 suited still. Let's pray. And basically calling down, like calling the turn with the 10-7. Still has a lot of bluffs here, like King Queen, like Ace of Hearts X that we can beat. Oh God. Should I just end the video here and leave you guys in a cliffhanger? Man, everything gets there. We just have a bluff catcher here. Block all the draws. He can have aces. All these over pairs. We're beating queens. Jacks. Trying to see what value, like what we're beating here. Pretty much just a fold instinctively, I think. Unless he has something like he's turning his like ace queen with like a club into a bluff. I'm just gonna roll for it. Okay, we rolled a call. I just don't think he's gonna be barreling his like ace king on the turn. Okay, wow. That's a ballsy bluff. The reason I called on board 3 is simply because that I can't really bluff much on this board when there's a small blind caller and 2 people. Gonna be calling ace 2 suited. Flopping top pair here. Gonna be checking, of course, and folding the 7 high. Yeah, I just don't think that he's gonna be barreling his ace king like any king X on the turn. I think that's just a high frequency check. I think he's barreling his jacks and like queens a lot more. Checking down the ace deuce. Maybe we can get some value in the river. And I'm just gonna go for value now. And I know I'm gonna set it at the end of the video, but there's too many interesting hands. Hopefully we're just checking down right now. I think we can bet for value. And actually, instead of making a part 2, I'm just gonna not make a part 2. We did get some value. I'd imagine he has a hand like a weaker pair. Just gonna check for simplicity. I'm not really sure what to do. Gonna be betting this turn high frequency, like pretty high frequency. We do have like some king queen that check back, some ace queen that turn equity. The river, not sure how often we can bluff. I think we have showdown value. That's why I don't really want to bluff it. And gonna be betting small on board too. Okay, nice outcome. Damn, I really lost value with that king jack hand against his aces. I didn't expect him. I expected his aces just to blast off on the river. So a really long tank, that means he doesn't like his hand, and a bet really small, and he's thinking like, I have really good odds here, not sure what to do. So with that in mind, he still has a weak range. So we're just going to be betting like half pot here. We don't really need to be sizing up because his range is so weak. It's kind of close, but I'm not opening ace deuce here. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the longer video, and it just shows that I'm not always sun running, right? So we're down around $8. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Oh, exactly $8.